going on YouTube because I watch videos of this one woman eating food.
Mm-hmm. Oh, like a mukbang. Like where they eat like a whole bunch of food and then like people watch them.
After working a 12-hour shift, she watches mukbang.
This girl ate like
weird things. Like,
this girl ate a 20-pound lobster, and I'm like, what?
No, like they eat the craziest thing.
She said you should go on YouTube.
Like a whole big ass bowl of shrimp, like jumbo shrimp, and she's
that sounds good,
eating
though.
them with like her long ass nails. It was so good.
Oh, she's like slurping, like yeah. Totally putting that part about the mukbang in though. Hey everyone, I'm Lauren, and I go by Thrift Goddess on Instagram and Poshmark.
I'm Alinka, I'm the Thrifty Historian, and I'm her_story_thrift on Poshmark and Instagram.
I have an underscore in my name, but I link my stuff below anyway, so
just assume
you can see it.
I'm Alex, and I'm Oatmeal Coco on Instagram and on our favorite app, which is Poshmark, and this is my mini Posher Lennox.
Say hi.
He's
He's so cute. He's watching some Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol.
Okay, now you have to try saying your username 10 times fast, because I always mess it up. Oatmeal Coco. I almost butchered that.
Coco, the Oatmeal Coco, the Oatmeal Coco. I've had it since 2012, so...
Where did you come up with that idea?
I worked at an eco-friendly gas station.
Okay.
And the person who was my boss, him and I got together and we would eat spinach pizza, we would smoke a lot of herb, and we would read the encyclopedia. And one of the words in there, encyclopedia.
Oh,
and one of the words in there was oatmeal coat, which is, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Calvin Klein designed a coat called oatmeal colored coat, so that's where it's a color. It's a color, right? So to have an oatmeal coat is a pea coat with the oatmeal color.
Oh, that's
Insert photo here.
All the photos on Google of oatmeal pea coats were copyrighted, so I just used one of my own photos that is the oatmeal color.
Yeah, don't get high with your boss, people.
Because I just thought about like a coat made out of oatmeal.
Oatmeal, yeah.
And I was
like a
like-
teddy coat. That's what it
Yeah,
made me think of.
Where's yours from? It's on your shirt. Where's the...
The Thrifty Historian? Oh, well, I'm thrifty. And
Yeah,
I'm a
historian.
So I thought it was a good name. I don't know. I'm very proud of being a historian, and I want to include as much of my, educational background and who I am as a historian into my thrifting experience. So hopefully that means that in the future I'll also be able to have vintage stuff from the 40s and 50s, because that stuff is very hard to source. So
Yeah.
see.
Well, while we're talking about usernames, mine's not how you usually spell goddess, it's GAWD. And simply enough, it's because thrift_goddess was taken when I made my Instagram, so I was like, well, people say oh my god.
Oh my
god.
god.
And make it sound like that, and they spell it like that, so.
Oh, when I see it, I'm like,
Goddess.
thrift goddess.
Goddess. Yeah, like Poshmark.
I love
We
it.
sound southern for some reason.
Just to change subjects, a month ago, the three of us got together for the Posh and List party, and we were all following one another already.
Didn't
before
even know
we had
it.
met. Didn't even know. So
Mind blown.
this is a little get together a month later.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just really funny because we now have kept in touch from that Posh and List. So thanks
One month
Poshmark
later.
for bringing shit
Yes.
together.
PFFs.
Yes.
I said it right this time. Last time I get tongue-tied a lot when I speak. Posh. I can't even say it. Posh friends forever. So for this video, we're going to be going over some do's and don'ts that you want to know for Poshmark. So just some etiquette. Help me with words.
Yeah, etiquette, just basic things you should
Stuff you
know
need to know.
on
Need to know.
Poshmark. I mean, maybe it'll be a helpful video just for anyone that's starting out on Poshmark and just kind of trying to figure out the app. I know even when I first downloaded the app, I would say it probably took me at least a week to figure out the ins and outs.
It's a learning curve.
I probably took me at least 3 or 4 weeks before I figured out how bundles worked. I didn't know I didn't know that direct share and bundle was the same thing, so I was like very, very off put by that. So there's a lot to learn, and sharing is important. So.
Well, that's one already, but you're gonna start us off with our first do's and don'ts. Oh, you know what that made me think of? Do's and don'ts. Like the Baby Shark song. God,
Baby Shark. Lenny was just watching the Baby Shark song. Now it's gonna be stuck in my head. But so, well, I guess since I said shares are important, yes, shares are definitely important. We were just talking earlier about the algorithm that Poshmark has, and the more you're sharing not only your own stuff but other people's closets, that'll bump you up in the algorithm. So I think also as an etiquette thing, if somebody's going through and giving you like 20 to 30 shares on your closet, go back to that person and try to share their closet back. It's kind of like etiquette on Poshmark. If you see somebody's kind of like sharing a lot of your stuff, as well as follows, I try to follow back everybody that follows me. I don't know if that actually happens, because I feel like there's no way when I open my following that there's actually that many people. There's definitely way more people.
Yeah, there's a lot.
But they like condense the list. But I try to go through and at least, make sure that all the blues turn into whites and I follow everybody.
Yeah, once you're an ambassador too, you just get an influx of followers. There's
it's
so many to keep up with.
It's impossible to keep up. Yeah. I'll never be able to keep up with my followers. It would be a full-time job just following people all day. But definitely return shares and follows. That's a big do.
Now our first don't is, so when people are new on Poshmark, I know that a lot of people like to go and welcome them. They're like, hey, welcome to Poshmark. If you have any questions, ask me. But along the lines of that, a lot of people go on and they're like, oh, check out my closet. I have the 2 for $40 sale going on, or like follow me and all this stuff. So the don't is, don't promote your own page on other people's pages. It's really annoying and people don't like it. Whenever I get those comments, I just mark them as spam because I don't want that kind of stuff on my pages.
Yeah.
And then I've marked so many comments as spam that like Poshmark can't keep up, and I've had to email them like, why are you not deleting these? Like, I don't want this on here.
Yeah, and I think that, like, definitely the first thing that you said, when you're new to the platform and you have people commenting on your Meet the Posher page, and they're like, oh, hey, welcome to Poshmark. I remember when I first started on Poshmark, I was like, oh my god, look at all these random people that are just being so nice
like,
to me.
Friends.
So I was like, wow, this is, like, within the first week of being on Poshmark, I immediately knew I had made a good idea, because evidently it's a community I wanted to be part of.
Yeah, very welcoming. But then you get the few people who are like,
for the most part,
who are like, come on, give me your money.
Don't worry about
promotions.
liars.
The next do is curate your closet. Find out what brands you enjoy picking up for yourself, because if it doesn't fit you, then, and it doesn't sell, then it's just a piece of clothing sitting on a hanger, really, taking up space. So what I used to do was go to thrift stores for 50% off day and just load my cart up, but if it doesn't sell, it's just sitting.
Taking up space.
Yeah, exactly. So if you find something that you like I like certain clothing on my children, I'm not going to buy something that isn't right for my kids, because once they grow out of it, Poshmark is where it ends up. So curate your closet, find out what brands and what patterns and colors work out for you and what do popular, and then keep purchasing those and keep them stocked up in your store.
Yep, good one.
Any additions? No, Lenny?
You gotta put some input in.
Get a little, and like, I mean, for me personally, I guess I didn't really realize this until Alex said, she's like, oh, I have a bunch of stuff I think that would do really well in your closet. I'm like, oh, does my closet have a look? And I guess it does have a look, because I think I said this in your other video, like, I don't put anything in my closet that I personally don't look at and think like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. There's plenty of things that I see at the thrift store. I'm like, oh, it's in a small, but it's so cute. It's going on Poshmark.
Someone will buy it.
I think my favorite part about this job is getting to find cute things that like don't fit me, but I know that I can pass on to someone else because it's a steal. Oh, hi. Oh, Theo's back. Did you come back from your walk?
You guys remember Theo?
Oh.
He was our guest of honor in our other video.
All right, so next is a don't, and this is a very big personal one for me. Just because I had an incident recently that still trying to get over. But don't give your rating. So once you receive your order, you know, you're being prompted to give your, you know, rating out of 5 stars of how was your experience with the posture. I think that's a big thing. And also, like, how was the condition of the item? So, like, let's say the item arrives in perfect condition, it's well packaged, you know, there's a little card attached, you in your, you know, comment in your love note have disclosed that it's in perfect condition, but then you give it 4 stars instead of 5 because of a manufacturing error. Because, like, let's say the lid isn't properly secured on top of like a candle wax mounter. Okay, so that's not something that me as a seller can control because I did not manufacture it. So if you had an amazing experience with me as a seller, don't give me 4 stars for something that I can't control. So that's a very big one, is just rate things based on experience, not based on how much you like that item on a scale of 1 to 10. So like, let's say for example you order a shirt that isn't a medium and you're usually a medium, and you get that shirt and it doesn't quite fit you as you liked it. Okay, that's not my fault. That's also you.
Did you purposely shrink it in the dryer?
But I didn't. Well, that's never happened to me. I'm just kind of giving that as an example. But like, or like, you know, you say you kind of, oh, it's not quite as it was in the photo. You know, I don't really like it as much, so I'm gonna give it 3 stars. It's like, no, but like, if the buyer if the seller has disclosed everything with that item, like if there's a stain somewhere, if there's a rip or whatever, you can't turn around and give a low rating, especially when you're getting a good deal. So
exactly.
One of the things I've noticed is just kind of like watch out for lowballers, because I've honestly never had bad experiences with people who don't lowball. Like I've seen that like as a trend is like usually
it's definitely a trend.
It's a lowball and then Lenny.
We might be shaking.
We might be shaking. Lenny's there. So yeah, that's a big don't. Don't give your rating based on how much you like the item. Do it based on how was your experience with that seller, because those love notes get posted. Well, if they're 5 stars, they get posted on that seller's page. So we rely on your feedback to kind of promote our business. So if we've gone above and beyond to give you that service, the least you can do is sauce us a 5-star rating, right? Like,
yeah,
we work hard on our end.
Yeah, the thing with ratings though is everyone goes through it. It's like a rite of passage to get a low rating that you don't deserve.
Of course.
Like I've gotten 1 stars that are totally bogus, and
I've never gotten 1 star before. I have gotten.
Oh, just you wait.
My lowest rating I've gotten is a 2-star. And the thing that irked me the most was it was a shirt that I had posted for $22, and it was a Calvin Klein, like one of those button-up shirts.
Is it the green one?
The green one.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah, and it had some weird discoloration on the back, but like if you wore a blazer over top, you would never even see the back. And it had like the rolled up sleeves, and on the piece of the sleeve it had like a small stain. But when it was all the way rolled up, you couldn't see it anyways. But I completely disclosed all of that. She offered me $8 for the shirt, and I accepted because it was like from my own personal closet, and I wanted to get rid of it. Like
it's basically free shipping.
It
like
was
$14 less than $22.
Yeah, so she basically is getting whatever, and so I think I made something ridiculous off this shirt, like $1, like maybe a couple of cents, like
probably around like $2.
Or was that the one that it was 8 cents and I was frustrated because I sent you a message?
No, was that a bracelet?
Oh, that was a bracelet. Yeah. But yeah, I made like not even $1 off of the sale, and she gives me 2 stars and then says, areas of improvement, other.
The dreaded other.
What does this mean? Like, please, if you're going to do that,
it's like why do they even have an other section?
No,
it
that's
doesn't
not
make sense.
cool. Like, just give more feedback. Like, and like, let's say there was truthfully something that was the matter. Like, as a seller, I want to know what that was so I can improve on it, because I love working on customer service. Like, it's a big thing for me. If you want to be successful in sales, you have to have customer service. Seriously. It's a big thing.
Or if you're going to be thrifting in general, sometimes we do get items that come home with us that have stains, that have rips, and if we disclose it up online, we're taking that chance that you're going to read the description and not try to send it back because we've disclosed that information, right?
Exactly.
So don't leave us a 2-star rating if we've disclosed that information pretty much, because if it was a manufacturer error, that's understandable, but still 5-star rating. It came on time, it was wrapped pretty, and you got some free stickers or a face mask. Who knows?
Realistically, I don't think it was even like her comment was something like, it just doesn't quite fit on as it should. Like it's a little bit off, and like I'm trying to think back. Like maybe it was a little bit like truthfully.
But like you didn't notice it. Maybe
I already noticed it. But her comment was like, "But that's just me being a Virgo. I'll live with it." Oh, that lady pissed me off. Oh, trust me, girl.
I hope you're not filming that.
Oh, I'm filming that.
F you. Or like Lauren recently had a disc. It was a plate thing that held jewelry.
Yeah, I think it was two-tiered jewelry thing that I sold.
You wrapped it individually. You shipped it, and it arrived on time, and the person assembled it, and it broke. And I think you got a poor rating, right?
Yeah, 1 star.
But it wasn't your mistake because you didn't manufacture the.
Yeah, and when I had it, it was fine. Like it was like this little leaf part on top that was screwed on, and like I felt it, like it was fine. And then she probably just took it apart, or I don't know what happened.
It's in our group chat. Your face is like, what?
No, I totally. I'm trying to think about, how she might have screwed it up, and I think
I have no idea.
I think it maybe if she reassembled it with one of the, because you know those tiered things, they have the different pieces. So if she's missing even just one of the piece that tightens it, then that's enough.
You remember seeing that in our group chat though? Right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Anyways, so our next do is do answer.
Sorry.
What is this? I have no idea what's going on here.
I was just like, all right. And so she tried to make a funny face, so I wouldn't be like,
Come on,
I'm done.
get back.
I'm here.
Continuing. Anything else, you guys?
No, we're good.
So our next do is do answer buyer questions. So I get a lot of questions of like asking for a measurement. Oh, thank you. I just got assaulted with a bottle of juice.
Assaulted.
I get a lot of questions about like materials, measurements, condition, all that kind of stuff. And I know that when I first started out, I noticed that there was someone who posted the same bag that I had for sale. And someone commented asking for measurements, and this was like 4 weeks ago. And the seller never got back to them. So what I did is I messaged this person in a bundle. I was like, hey, I noticed that you wanted measurements for this bag and you never received them. So I gave them measurements, and they actually ended up buying the bag for me. So it was like a win-win. So yeah, I know there's a lot of controversy for answering measurement questions because people think that like, oh, if I answer the measurements, this person's never going to buy. And sometimes it is the case because it might not fit them. But I've actually had quite a few times where I have given measurements to people and they have bought it. So it's just that extra assurance that it is going to fit them and that they won't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I mean, I find usually if it gets to the point where somebody's asking for measurements on the item, it's because they're super interested in it, right? And like, I don't provide measurements because I feel like that's a lot of extra work. Maybe in the future I'll start doing measurements. I don't know, I haven't decided. But for me right now it works where if I just have it listed and somebody asks me for the measurements, I'll just give it to them. I will say 9 out of 10 times if somebody's asking for measurements, they end up buying the product after. There's the odd time where somebody asks, you know, I give the measurements and they're like, oh, it won't fit, it's too small. And honestly, I would rather you know that it's too small than you buying it and then having to return it. Or giving me a crappy rating. I'd rather not, you know? And also, like, that's your hard-earned money, too. Like, don't spend it on things that don't fit you.
Yeah. Like, I put measurements in, like, pants and jeans, and then if people ask for them, I'm like, yeah. And most of the time I do measurements, like, while I'm photographing, so I just, like, roll out the tape measure, take a picture, and then...
I just need to be better about that.
Yeah, upload it with my stuff, and then write it in the description.
My next point is don't. Don't. Please, if you purchase something from any of us, please do not take our photos without asking and our descriptions, because we work really hard at taking those measurements, taking the photos. We put our time into sourcing the item, and we understand that sometimes it's not going to fit. It's not one size fits all. Everybody is shaped differently, right? So maybe something that fits Lauren, Thrifty Goddess, it's not going to necessarily fit me.
Thrifty Goddess?
Ooh,
I like that.
Thrifty Historian and
Thrifty Goddess. Should I change my name?
So if
Thrifty Goddess.
something that might fit Lauren may not fit me, thrift goddess. And that being said, please ask kindly if you would like to resell the item on Poshmark. Great platform to do so. If you wanna do that, please ask nicely. I've had it in the past, and I had no problem. I was given a low star rating, which absolutely blew my mind. And they asked kindly to take my description and my photos, and I just said yes. And you know what? Like, it's annoying to get low stars when you have that great customer service.
Yeah, sure is.
And I could have said no, but really,
I would have been like, if you change my rating, then
you want to make your money back. That's fine. Like, just ask. Don't steal my photos, please. Not that I take very good photos, but I work at it.
When I was first starting out, I remember I sold this lady a top, and she was like probably one of my worst customers. I'll probably eventually do a video of like my worst online selling experiences, and I'll talk more about her. But she bought a sweater for me, and it didn't fit. She like gave me a low rating, and then she took my photos. I had one of my friends modeling them, and I was like, she was not comfortable with it. She's like, I don't want to be on this random lady's page. And then so I took it up with Poshmark, and then eventually she posted her own photos. And the funniest thing about this is she left my thank you note hanging from the tag of the sweater, and it was like in her photos. I'm like, are you really that lazy that you're just gonna leave my thank you note there?
I wonder if she was advertising it as new with tags.
Probably,
because the tag was there.
Probably.
Oh no, that's terrible. I've had a few times. I've had one girl who I noticed she had reposted an item of mine, but she took her own photos. But the funny thing is, it was a bodysuit, and it was like, it had like the shoulders like kind of off, whatever, and she had put it on the mannequin backwards.
Oh no.
And I literally just commented on the photo, I'm like, hey girl, this bodysuit's on backwards. And she retook the photos and did them properly.
That's awesome.
But then I did recently find somebody who took my pictures, and it's like very evident that their photos aren't theirs, because they have all their photos of their own listings.
One different.
And there's one that's a different lighting, different color. It's like, I mean,
one of
for
these
this,
doesn't belong.
So one of the things is good. Take good photos of your.
It helps.
Yeah, it definitely does. Like, there's been items that I've listed and kind of looked at it after, and I'm like, that is awful lighting. That is it. You don't even know what color that skirt actually is, because that is terrible lighting. So I've gone ahead and, taken photographs and better lighting in the daytime, closer to a window maybe, or like have a different setup now than when. So there's a ton of things that when I originally started out on Poshmark, I didn't really know what I was doing, and I went through and I was like, okay, we're gonna delete all this and then relist it with proper lighting. And some of the things that had just been sitting there with getting no likes, no attention, within an hour or two of posting them, they would get likes, and within a day or two, there'd be more of them sold. I'm like, okay. So it definitely matters what your photos look like. So take good lighting, make sure your clothing's not like wrinkled, make sure, if you have a steamer, or, even just an iron, just run it through, make it presentable, make it shoppable.
Yeah, because if you think about, like, you're scrolling through, and people are going to click on things that catch their eye, right? If there's, like, a wrinkled shirt laying on a bed and poor lighting, like, no one's going to be like, oh, that pops up to me and look at it.
No one wants that.
No. Okay, so the next don't is, we were actually just talking about this. Don't make bundles for people who haven't liked your items or shown any interest. Because some people, I don't know why, but they think that this works for them. Somebody either follows them or shares their listing, and then they just put their items into their bundle. Like, I think I had someone share a wedding dress to my bundle. I'm like, not getting married, so thanks. And this is like 5 sizes too small. So what I've noticed actually is a trick. Sometimes when people are sharing your stuff, they might accidentally hit the bundle. And then you go and look at it and the bundle's empty. And when I first started, I didn't know this, so I would just think that they, removed it, and then I would just put it back in and send them an offer. Then I realized that this was a mistake that people did while they're accidentally sharing, because sometimes you're just going, oops, wrong button. Happens with likes too, like if someone likes something and then you go on and it says like they didn't like it. So
yeah, I've definitely done that before. Or for example, I've sometimes gone through and I'm like, ooh, that's cute, I like it, and then I open it and I'm like, oh, it's not my size. And then I have to unlike it, because I like to just keep in my likes things that I potentially maybe will buy or want to buy or I'm interested in, because, and that's another thing too, it's like if you like it and you think it's cute but you're not interested in buying it, just don't like it, because then you're gonna keep getting, like, there's
the
so
offers.
many the offers, yeah. And I've had, you know, a one person who, she goes through and likes all my things, and I always send her offers, declines it every time, like almost immediately. And I'm like, so you're not actually shopping.
Yeah, there's a few of those people.
But that's just because I think people don't understand that liking on Poshmark is not quite the same as liking on Instagram,
where you just go through and like everything.
I think that leads to my point for my next do, which is do make offers and do ask questions. They kind of go hand in hand. By asking questions, you will be, I would say, happy when you receive your package and it's your size and it's the right color, because like Alinka said that maybe our photos, they don't show the right color. By asking questions, you become knowledgeable, and that just allows you to get a better experience when shopping. My other point was do make offers. A lot of the times, somebody that has 600, 700 items in their closet, it's hard to keep track once it's gone into inventory. The measurements, or if there's any flaws, we make note of that. So if you set an offer on that item, we can immediately ship it out to you, versus you writing, hi, I'm interested in this item. I just want to know if it is true to size. Because as a seller, especially myself, I do a lot of research on what items I'm offering in my closet. I do see if my Lucky Brand shoes fit true to size. I'm seeing if my Sorels the leather is stretchable. So you asking questions, great, keep that up, but please make an offer. Liking something, then I'm going to see, oh, there's interest, and I'm going to lower my price. Because that's what offer to likers is. A little hint to you is that if your price is $20 on an item, my math sucks, but $20 on an item, and Poshmark goes, for now, we'll help pay shipping if you send out offers to likers. So what we do, the closet clear out, thank you. So we take advantage of that, and we take 10% off our $20, which leaves you with 18.
I think
let's
so.
say.
Yeah, that's 10%.
18 with $9.99 shipping. Guess what happens next time offers to likers comes up? It says your item's now at 18. You must drop it by at least 10% to send
16.
out. So really, you're by you not offering, we're depleting the value in our items, and we believe that this is what the value is of the item, because we've gone out and we've sourced it, we've housed it in either our offices or our homes. Basements. We've steamed it, cleaned it, washed it, whatever it is. So, and then we've taken the time to write in descriptions, throw descriptions on it. So
yeah, it's a lot more work than people think.
It's curated, like you said, right? Like I've gone out and I've found the great deals at the thrift stores. I found the good, cute stuff, and you're getting it. First of all, an amazing deal for the most part. So it's a win-win for me. And for you,
Oh, I saw that. Coffee that.
Oh my god, my wrist just gave out. Wow, okay.
it's from all that steaming.
Yeah, no, but I don't use my left hand to steam, so that's just
no
embarrassing. Awkward. But yeah, and speaking of that too, I mean, like, as you were saying, like, sending offers to likers and asking questions. I had actually a pair of boots yesterday that a girl, she's like, yeah, I'm an 8 to 8.5. Do you think these would fit? Like, girl, I'm in a 7.5 to an 8. Let me put the boots on again and kind of see. She's like, I need them to be a little bit wider. I'm like, I would say they're pretty wide. They still have a little space. I think if you're an 8.5 to an 8, or 8 to an 8.5, like, they'll fit. And
that time is
she
worth
bought it.
money.
Yeah, she bought it. Like she bought it in a bundle with 2 other things, and she was like, "Thank you so much." And a lot of the times, your buyers will be very, very grateful that you take that extra step.
It shows
like,
you care.
Yeah, like let me try it on for you. Like let me see. Like let me. There's been times where like my mom's a size 7, and there was a pair of shoes that were size 7. I'm like, Mom, can you try this on? See how they fit you? See if they fit. Like, oh, yep, my mom's a 7. They fit her good.
Yeah.
That you should be good, girl. Like, it's better.
Perfect.
I would
that
like to
way.
see Poshmark maybe bring in a tipping feature. Like
Tips.
if you liked your service and
That'd be
you
cool.
and if you liked your shipping time, then tip your.
Maybe if they lower
Closet
the shipping
host.
a little bit, then they can make room for that.
Like in Canada, the shipping is $12.99. So when
It's
I
a
hear
lot.
people in the States complaining about their shipping,
$7 shipping.
I'm like, wow, I wish.
Yeah.
It's like-
we're jealous of the U.S.
That's-
shipping rate.
So Theo has taken over my spot, and he's going to be sharing my due for me.
So the next one we have is a don't, and it's don't pester people. Okay, or Theo doesn't want to be pestered either, apparently. So don't pester people, meaning, one, don't pester people in their bundles. Like, let's say somebody has bundled a bunch of things, and you've sent out an offer. Don't, like, pester them to, like, accept an offer. Like, I have one person who I've liked 2 items from their closet, and they just, like, every couple of weeks, they just, like, re-add everything to the bundle and like remake, and I'm like, okay, clearly, like,
They're indecisive.
no, like, clearly I'm not going through with this. Like, I want to keep it there for now, but right now it's kind of a holiday look, so I'm not wasting my summer looks. But it's just like, don't, like, I'm kind of seeing it now to the point where I kind of don't even really want to buy from that person because they're just kind of like harassing me into it. So
Yeah,
like,
and
don't
you feel pressured.
pester people, don't harass people. Like, I don't, like to do that. And then also, don't pester people when it comes to their delivery acceptance. So once your buyer receives their order, they have 3 days to accept the order. So that means they have 3 days to inspect, make sure everything's good, and then accept your order so that you can get your money. And I know sometimes you're there like, okay, like, I want my money, like, please accept your order. But, just like, don't pester people to accept their order. We were kind of talking about that earlier. It's a little bit different. For example, let's say you can see on the tracker that there was a delivery attempt at their door, but it didn't get delivered to their door, so it got sent out to the post office to get picked up. And sometimes, people just like forget. Honestly, like, there's been times where for me, I've just forgotten to go pick up my package. And a girl sent me a message. She's like, hey girl, just so you know, like, your package is available at the post office. I was like, oh my gosh, thanks so much for letting me know, because I literally would have, who knows how much longer. This was like earlier on when I wasn't, selling as much on Poshmark, so I wasn't going to the post office daily like I am now, so that's never a problem anymore. But I think that's kind of a different pestering. Like, if you're reminding someone, like, hey, like, just so you know,
It's
your
more,
package.
it's helpful pestering.
That's not, but as opposed to being like, hey, I'll accept your order, like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Right, and don't give us a bad rating, please, if you don't pick up your package right away.
And say, like, ship time.
Shipping took
When it was
too
shipped,
long.
like, same day.
Or
Like, shipped same day, got to your city 4 days ago. Wow, why is it just in your hands now?
That's a you problem.
That's a you problem.
Yeah, speaking of the pestering thing, I remember reading on this one girl's page, like, every single item she had posted had, like, 50 or 60 comments on it. I'm like, what the heck? So I went down and I read. Every time someone liked the item, she would comment their name and then put interested with a bunch of question marks.
That's
And I'm
literally
like,
a don't. That
Yeah.
Poshmark, if you
Says
read the
that.
guidelines.
Yeah, and then so what I did is I commented on her listing, and I was like, I read this point on Poshmark etiquette, and then she didn't answer me, and then this was like months ago, and I recently came across her account again, and I went on and she was still doing the same thing, so I went to comment again, and I'm like, clearly you didn't listen to my point, and then I realized she'd blocked me, and I'm like, that's just annoying people.
Well, I mean, you not just report her listing, because she's literally breaking a Poshmark guideline. That's like the same thing as if, like, one of the things that Poshmark says don't do, if you see somebody selling the same item as you, but you have it for, like, a lesser price, don't comment on someone else's post saying, like, oh, I have this item too, but for a lesser price, come see my closet. That's not cool. Don't do that. Similarly to that, don't do it.
So our next do is do counter instead of decline. So you might have a listing, say you have it up for $100, and someone offers you $50. and you're like, I'd kind of like to get maybe 75 for that. So best thing to do that in that situation is counter 75, because either they're gonna accept it or they're gonna counter or decline. And I've heard some people, when they get like a low offer, they're like, oh, I don't have time for this, automatically decline. And in that situation, you're potentially missing out on a sale, because you never know, like maybe the person's just offering low to see how low you're gonna go. And then if you send a counter in between, they might say like, hey, that's a great deal, and accept it. So I've never actually, I think maybe twice I have outright declined an offer, because this one girl, she made a $1,600 bundle. She offered, you know who I'm talking about, she offered me $289. And like as soon as the offer came out, I was like, decline. And this girl is a serial bundler. She does this to like everyone. There's a whole Facebook feed in our group about it. It's like, no thank you, goodbye.
Serial bundler, like.
And then like I commented something in the bundle, and I was like these are all different sizes, like I know they're not gonna fit you. And she's like, sewing is magic or something. I'm like, you're gonna sew a pair of boots so they fit you. Because like she had like size 10 and size 4.
Clearly
It's, like,
sourcing
6,
from you.
Yeah. No thank you.
Did she have like an active Poshmark page? Like did she sell?
I'm gonna look it up right now, because I think she blocked me and I blocked her, because I'm like, ain't nobody got time for that. But
Yeah.
I still know her name. Everyone knows her name. Yeah, she has no listing, so I don't know what she's doing, but maybe she sells it like
But then,
on Facebook
like,
or something.
Yeah, you see, but then didn't you see like she had a bunch of love notes that she had sent out to other people?
Did she?
Didn't she?
Oh,
I think
yeah,
so.
I think so. Probably on like people who just wanted to get rid of their stuff. Because maybe she tried this with someone and they accepted it, so she's like, oh, maybe I can get away with doing it to other people.
My
No
don't
idea.
is do not be inconsistent. If you have a routine, as most of us do, to get an offer, accept an offer, whichever it is, wrap it all up, make it pretty, get it to the post office, and get that good 5-star rating. What else is consistent? Your thrifting. Make a routine out of it. Every Thursday, if you're into YouTube, get that video out. This is all work, and this is what most of us choose as our part-time or full-time career. So put the work and love into it and be consistent.
Yeah, it's a good one. I try and thrift like 3 times a week. Whenever I'm feeling it, really.
Yeah.
I said I live dangerously close to a value.
She can walk there.
No, like it's not okay. And so what I do is I only go like, so if the store closes at 9, I only go at 8. So I'm only allowed to shop for an hour.
You meet 8 in the morning and you wait outside till 9 till it opens, and then you go for the whole day.
I literally never do. And like the one time when we went to Value Village together for like 4 hours, like this is why I always
You're still
go at
here.
8 p.m. because they've judged us. It was funny.
Yeah, we're still here. Don't judge us. Alright, so those are some do's and don'ts for Poshmark. I'm sure there's some that we missed, and if you have any ideas of any, you can comment them below. I'm gonna link all of our social media so you can follow us and keep in touch. So thanks so much for watching. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and subscribe. See you later.
Bye.
Yay!
Like what is it? ARP, APR,
ASMR.
ASMR, and it's like weird. It's like rubbing like.
You're like doing like
Yes.
it's so strange.
And like people like love that stuff.
But it was that with like eating. So it was like
yeah,
a
and it's like her
combination.
chewing is like.
Ew, it's so gross. I don't know how people do it.
It's people are weird.
I really like, you know, like sometimes when you're feeling nauseous and you gotta throw up. Now I know what to watch.
Watch this lady eating a 50-pound lobster.
Ew, or like
Okay.
those jumbo shrimp and just slurp it. Ugh, so gross.